You can go ahead and get the meeting started.
All right. Good afternoon. Today is June 6th, 2022. It is 4 p.m. and this is the Board of Directors meeting for the Wheels Livermore Amador Valley Transit Authority. We are holding this meeting via Zoom in conjunction with the state regulations that allow us to do so. And I wondered if we could, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Could we have a roll call of attendees, please?
Yes, Vice Chair Halbert,
Present.
Director Hernandez. Director Hernandez,
I'm here.
Director Josie,
Here.
Director Kick,
Here.
Director Narum,
Here.
Livermore alternate Warner,
Here.
Chair Brown.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, agenda item 3 is meeting open to the public. This is an opportunity for members of the audience to address the Board of Directors on any matter within the general subject matter jurisdiction of LAVTA. Do we have anybody that would like to speak from the public?
So I didn't receive any comments via email. However, I do see that we have one person that would like to speak, Stephen Dunbar. One moment.
Good afternoon, Stephen.
Stephen, are you there?
Yeah, you can you hear me now? Took a second.
Yes,
We
we
sure
have
can.
3
Welcome to our meeting.
You have 3 minutes to speak. You can go ahead and start your public comment.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. I guess it took a second to elevate to panelist. Had a couple comments for things on this agenda, but before that, I wanted to note that the new website is underway and it's looking a lot cleaner. I had the opportunity to provide feedback to the consultant on how I use it last week, and I know they've been asking a bunch of other people as well. I hope that feedback was useful. I think it's going to look a lot better and be a lot more useful for people that are unfamiliar with the system. So thanks for that. One comment on the short-range transit plan. I know that things are very busy these days. Don't I know it? I work in public transit too. I know we're looking for a new executive director, but there wasn't a whole lot of public outreach for this short-range transit plan because of COVID, which is a little bit of an issue, I think, at a high level. I know a lot of people in the disability community who want to comment in the future too. I know it's a formulaic document, but as we move forward with the new executive director, I think we need to do the outreach that normally would have taken place. And I think 2027 is a little too late to do that. Additionally, Livermore has a lot of housing units that are going to be coming online in the Isabel area, perhaps before the train is complete. And we need a plan for bus service to match that so the area is active and vibrant and not dominated by parking garage entrances. So I hope we can plan for that change. I think we also need to discuss in the document the role of speed improvements in attracting ridership while decreasing costs. I think that's something we should invest in. Please consider that moving forward. The last thing I had was on the executive director's report. There was a note about the Dublin parking garage that some funding from the hub study was trying to be reprogrammed. And I'm hoping that's going towards transit, the transit part of that garage, because if we don't have money to do the public outreach and we miss that, it seems like we have money that could go towards that planning that's left before, but rather than a parking garage. So I hope that can be clarified. That's all I have for you. Thanks for your time. I know staff's very busy and I know all of you are as well. I hope you are all well. Thanks.
Thank you, Stephen. And thank you for your recommendations on the website and hence website improvement of usability. Just a quick question to staff as a follow-on to Mr. Dunbar. Even though we're looking at short-range transit plans, for example, large housing developments, which may come forward in any of our 3 cities, I wonder if staff would comment about how we could provide service, even if it wasn't in the short-term plan.
I'll answer that. We do get the opportunity to review and comment on planned housing units in all 3 of the cities. And when those development plans come to us, we provide feedback, and usually there's, if they're already on an existing bus route, there are typically requirements for bus pullouts and bus stop improvements at the housing units. If they're not on a bus route, first of all, shame on them. And second, we would take a look at what opportunities are available in the future. Also, in regard to the short range transit plan, yes, we didn't really do a whole lot of public outreach because of COVID and the fact that very few people it just wasn't feasible. And the next phase of this project with Nelson Nygaard is a long range transit plan, which will include a little more extensive public outreach and public input process. And it will start with the consultant, Nelson Nygaard, reaching out to the board of directors as a group and individually to see what your vision of the future of the agency should be. So that will be addressed.
This is a 5-year short-term plan. How long of a term is the long term?
20 years.
Oh, okay. If anybody's still here. All right, who in here?
I know I won't be, but
All right, I know I won't be. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Dunbar. Is there anyone else wishing to speak from the public?
I don't see anybody else's hands raised at this point, so I believe that that's completed.
Okay, I will close the public hearing and move on to agenda item 4, which is the Tri-Valley Accessible Advisory Committee, or our TAC committee. And do we have anyone that would like to speak to that? Usually Mr. Herb Hastings, there he is. Yes, Herb, you're on mute. Go right ahead.
Hello, now you can hear the ugly noise. Now you can't see me though. Hold on, guys. Yeah, my machine.
We can hear you.
Oh,
I think he's trying to start his background. Yep, there you go.
well, yeah. These things have their own minds. All right. Let's see. Now I gotta split everything up. Here we go. Now I can see everybody. Otherwise, hello everyone. It's been an interesting 2 months since I did my last report. Hope everyone's been remaining safe, and we're going back and forth with this mask, but we have to do what we gotta do it. I'm here to give the report for the May TVAC report. And so we basically had our meeting, and I'd given comments about I'm starting a continual ongoing safety training program with MV now. So the chair and the vice chair are currently involved in a quarterly driver's training, sensitivity training program with the MV drivers, new drivers. And I did the first one last month. And then we had our RFP update for the current year, and regarding the winning of the contracts for the continued service for 22. And then of course we're doing our applications for the current replacement for the current TVAC members for the year 23, fiscal 23. It's unbelievable. It's been 2 years for me already. PACO is pretty much just, we did our report regarding the BB funds, the latest news. And then we just had our usual service concerns about issues, different bus routes and everything. The only thing not on the report, which is mainly you blame Tony, we were asked to do a dry run of looking at the website before it goes online. And so the members were invited. I am going to start looking at it tomorrow and dismantling and rebuilding the thing for you guys. So that's what our current progress is. And that's my current report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hastings. Thank you. Any questions?
Carla, there is somebody in the audience that has their hand raised.
That might be,
Wonderful.
I'm not sure if
Uh,
it's for this or for something else, but
I'm making
Brittany,
sure that, is it me or not? No,
Brittany
it's not
keeps-
me, it's somebody else.
Brittany keeps getting disconnected. She may be trying that way.
let me see. So I just asked the person to unmute themselves. May I ask who this is? The phone number is ending in 825. Hello? I just asked you to unmute number 825,
It is unmuted now.
star 6.
Now it's muted.
Can you say something?
Hi, sorry, it is Brittany. I'm having trouble with not only my cell service, but my Wi-Fi. So I am here over the phone somehow. So if you can somehow move me up to panelists via the phone, that would be great. Sorry about that.
Unfortunately, I can't get you in as panelist, but I can keep you on the screen the way that you are right now.
Okay, so if I need to vote, do I just raise my hand again?
You can raise your hand. You can hit star 6 to unmute yourself or unmute.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we have all been there with those challenges. We totally understand, but we're glad you could join us. Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Hastings. I appreciate your report for the TAC committee. Now we're on to the consent agenda. Those are items considered routine in nature, and we have quite a few today. Do we have any questions on this? Yes, Mr. Connerin.
Hi, Madam Chair, I need to recuse myself because our contract's part of the consent agenda, and I will also be recusing on number 6, the paratransit MOU, since our firm represents 3 CTA, and LAVTA has a different counsel to assist them with that MOU.
So I'm confused. How would you recuse yourself because you don't vote? Does that mean you need to step
Well,
out of the
I'm just
room?
going to turn off my camera.
Okay.
Just in
All right,
case you
that
had a
sounds-
question, I'm not here to answer.
Okay, not on those two. All right, no, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on any of the other items for staff? All right, seeing none, I'm looking for a motion on consent.
I'll move approval of the consent calendar.
Hernandez will second.
Motion made by Narum, seconded by Hernandez. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Vice Chair Halbert,
Aye.
Director Hernandez,
Aye.
Director Josie,
Aye.
Director Kick. Director Kick,
We lost her.
let me allow her to talk. I think when she's muted, she can't unmute. Director Kick,
Aye.
Director Nair,
Aye.
I'll vote aye, except I'll abstain on the minutes.
well, Director Nair,
I
Livermore, alternate Warner.
Yeah, I'll vote yes, except for the minutes I'll abstain on.
Okay, Chair Brown,
Yes,
motion's passed.
terrific, thank you. All right, our paratransit operations contract is up and staff recommends that the Board of Directors authorize the interim executive director to enter into an MOU. Can we have a staff report, please?
We do. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, board directors. So this took a little longer than anticipated, but we're finally here. The item before you is to approve a resolution, again, authorizing the interim executive director to enter into an MOU with Triple CTA and award a joint paratransit operation and maintenance contract to Transdev. At last month's board meeting, I provided an update on the ongoing RFP for the joint paratransit contract. At that time, although a vendor was selected, Triple CTA and staff was in the process of negotiation with the vendor. So today I'm happy to report that through that negotiation process, we were able to yield a 5% reduction in cost from the original proposal. As mentioned at the May meeting, an evaluation panel was formed to help evaluate the proposal and also interviews the firm. In addition to Triple CT and LAVTA staff, the panel also included the GM from Tri-Delta and the AGM from WestCat. There's a lot more detail in the staff report for your information, but the bottom line is that although either firm, TransDev or RiTrans, can perform the work, based on the technical proposal and the proposed management team, the panel concluded that TransDev can provide paratransit service that's more advantageous and best value to Triple CTA, LAVTA, and our riders. This is reflected in the scoring, where TransDev scored higher in each of the evaluation criteria. TransDev proposed to retain the existing local team, which is great news because they have done an extraordinary job since taking over the service. TransDev also adjusted the salary and benefit packages for all the employees so they can stay competitive in this crazy labor market. And then one new key additional feature that's rolling out with this new contract is an online trip booking feature. So currently there's an app for users to check on the status of the trips and also see where the vehicle is. And they can also cancel the trip. With the new feature, they can now book a trip. So that instead of calling in to the reservation line, they can go online or go on the app and book their trip. So that's pretty exciting. That's something we've been working for years, so it's finally here. In terms of the fiscal impact, the operating budget that was approved at the May board meeting included a $3.2 million line item for the paratransit ride service. The first year of the MOU with Triple CTA and the contract with TransDev will be a little under $1.8 million. So the main reason for the disparity in the numbers is attributed to the service demand forecast. When the budget was developed back in January and February, service demand appeared to be trending upward. So we thought based on that burn rate and that trend, we would be around 72% pre-COVID level for FY23. But in the last few months, the trend has actually somewhat stabilized and sometimes gone downward. So we are now adjusting that to about 50% pre-COVID instead of 70%. So that has significantly reduced the cost. So with that, staff recommends that the board of directors authorize the interim executive director to enter into an MOU with Triple CTA and award a joint paratransit O&M contract to TransDev for a period of 4 years with one additional option year starting on July 1st of 2022. And the last thing is to note that TransDev is the incumbent. So their contract transition is not required, which means there will be no disruption to the passengers with this new contract. With that, I'd be happy to answer any question you might have.
Do we have any questions? Great, seeing none, I'll just comment that I'm so pleased that TransDev was the award winner because they have been the service provider and they've done a terrific job through this test period. So it's a win-win all the way around. Okay, I'm looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, Halbert.
All right, motion made by Josie, seconded by Halbert. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Vice Chair Halbert,
Aye.
Director Hernandez,
Aye.
Director Josie,
Aye.
Director Kick,
Aye.
Director Narum,
Aye.
Livermore alternate Warner,
Aye.
Chair Brown.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you. That is one nice thing to button up because it's been working out so well. I know it'll make everyone's job a little easier now that this is an official MOU and a contract agreement. As you might expect, every fiscal year, beginning in July, we change LAVTA chairs and vice chairs, not only on the board, but also on the subcommittees. And I wondered if Tamara, would you talk about that for a little bit, or someone on your staff?
Actually, Jennifer Suda does all the work on that staff report every year. So I asked her to put her name on it and present it today, since she is the expert in this office.
Okay, so the action requested is for the Board of Directors to elect a new chair and vice chair for fiscal year 2023. Per the bylaws, the chair should represent the county and the vice chair should represent the city of Dublin. And then at the July board meeting, the chair will bring back a recommendation for both committee membership and chair positions for board consideration. And then board members should advise the new board chair if they would like to be considered for a different committee assignment within the next 2 weeks. And if you look at the staff report, you will see that we have the current projects and services and finance and administration committee meetings listed for review. But today we're just trying to find out who the new chair and vice chair will be.
Okay, so it's normally that the county, and we only have one representative on the county, and he's been our vice chair, would move up to chair. And you're just going to ask Supervisor Hubbard, is that something that you can do and your schedule permits?
Yes, I would be happy to do that and honored. And aside from nominating myself, which seems odd, if I am nominated, I will do it.
I will go ahead and nominate or second Supervisor Halbert.
Right, and then we need a vice chair, and the vice chair would be coming from Dublin. Did I get that right?
That's correct.
Okay, I'd like to nominate Melissa Hernandez. She's been on the board the longest. I have a great respect for Jean. She's been running our projects and services meetings very, very well. But I know the mayor has been on this board a little bit longer. So I'd like to nominate her for vice chair.
And I'm thrilled to second that nomination.
Okay, thank you for your support. All right, so we have for next year, our chair will be Supervisor Halbert and Mayor Hernandez vice chair. Could we take a roll call vote, please?
Vice Chair Hubbard.
Aye.
Director Hernandez.
Aye.
Director Josie.
Aye.
Director Kick. Let's see. There we go. Director Nahara.
Aye. Aye.
Livermore alternate Warner.
Aye.
Chair Brown.
Aye.
Motion's passed.
And I'm pleased to pass the gavel. Now we're going to work out the rest of the details on the subcommittees. Usually it's also a rotating. I don't know, Jennifer, if you want to mention that. So since the county is chair for the board, the county would not be chair for any of the subcommittees. We'll work that out and try our very best to promote. If you're vice chair, you're going to move up unless there's a conflict with the cities. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you. That was easy. Our interim executive director's report, Ms. Edwards.
Thank you. As I believe Tony mentioned earlier, our ridership is up. It's at about 60% pre-COVID levels, which is great, especially compared to other transit agencies in the Bay Area. So we're very happy about that. And the BART parking lot is still fairly empty. So it's nice to see that people are still riding our bus, even though, they're not doing it to avoid parking at the BART station. MTC is introducing a institutional transit pass. It's a pilot program for 2 years. None of the institutions involved in the pilot are in this area, so it probably won't affect us much. However, there could be somebody who lives out here and goes to San Francisco State or that kind of thing. If it's successful, what they're trying to track is, would these users actually be using other transit agencies, or are they only using what's considered kind of their home agency that the institutional pass is presently given through? So if that's successful, they will roll it out to other areas, hopefully the whole Bay Area. We'll see how they decide to stage it. Our institutions that would be affected by that would be our Las Positas College Pass and the Hacienda Business Park Pass. And they haven't finished with the pilot, so they haven't discussed or decided or made any determination on how everyone will be compensated for the usage. That's the main question everybody has, is how are we getting paid when they ride our system? And the answer right now is they don't know. So I think before all the agencies agree to going forward after the pilot, that will definitely have to be ironed out. And then the United Seniors of Oakland and Alameda County are having a senior event, or excuse me, an event for seniors at the Alameda County Fairgrounds on July 29th. They reached out to us for help in getting their seniors to the event. There will be many coming from further west. And they also, they have a couple travel trainers on their staff, and most of their travel training's in the Oakland, San Leandro, Hayward area, but she does do travel training out here. So she's asked for some assistance in that. And when she gets back to me, she's going to come for a visit and we'll do a tour and we'll do some route planning and that kind of thing. She just hasn't gotten back to me as quickly as she had indicated. The Rutan facility landscaping, if you're in the neighborhood, drive by. It's not completely done. It's almost done. And I am told by the landscapers, it'll look great in about a year because the plants have to kind of grow more. Because I was like, this doesn't look like the picture. And they were like, yeah, because you asked for 5-gallon plants and the picture shows them as full grown. So, but it does look way better than it did. It's much cleaner. You can see the street. We can be seen from the street. So that's providing a little security, which we appreciate, because before you really couldn't see our parking lot. You couldn't see people around the building, from the street. So people use our parking lot every now and then as a hiding place. The Livermore Police Department will be here this Saturday with their explorers from their Explorer program. They come out, well, they used to come out once a year and then, COVID, but now they're back to doing their training and they train their explorers. They're interested in a career in law enforcement, and they do training on if a situation were to happen on a bus. These are all the emergency exits, the roof hatch, the windows, how they pop out. They do different scenarios. It's actually really kind of fun to watch. Very enthusiastic kids. And then the Dublin parking garage, I actually have some additional updates since we sent this out. We and the county had asked for an extension of time by 20 months. And it was supposed to go to the commission, but I heard from our contacts at the state last week that they found a workaround and it's already been approved. Doesn't have to go to the commission. So we got a 20-month extension. They're also moving the remaining money from the hub study to the parking garage construction. And since there was a question about this earlier, before Michael Tree left, he had contacted the head of the TIRSIP funds up at the state. That's the funding for this. And he had asked to move that money into everything he could think of, the money we saved from the hub study. And he was shot down because the way the allocation and the legislation is written, the only thing it can go into is construction for the parking garage. So the choice was move it into construction for the parking garage or lose it altogether. So we don't like giving money back. We moved it into the parking garage construction. We also found out last week that the project manager for the county is leaving the county. And I'm not sure how that's going to affect the project, but I will keep you all posted. We have a meeting with his supervisor and I think her supervisor as well this Friday. So we should hopefully have an update, but it is a little hard to lose Hottie. So, and that's it for my update.
I don't see any hands raised. I have 2 questions. When you say the landscaping gives you better visibility, if they remove those big hedges that were around the edge of the parking lot?
Yes, they literally, except for trees, we took one tree down because it was dead, but I said, don't touch the trees. They took everything out. All the hedges, everything, all that ground cover that I'd had removed like 20 times. I kept growing back. It's all gone.
Wow.
So
and
now
did
the
you
new plants are in.
Drought resistant plantings?
Yes, and a whole new irrigation system. So it's a drip system now. And it's got more controllers. So it's more zone controlled. Yes, and more drought resistant. And not only drought resistant, but these plants need less maintenance. So they won't need as frequent maintenance as the previous shrubs we had. And then there will be tan bark all around it to give it a nice, clean, finished look.
Wonderful. I can't wait to see it. One day we'll get back to in person. And then regarding the Explorer program, I'm not sure about Dublin. Pleasanton does have an Explorer program. And anybody from Dublin know if you have an Explorer program? It's like a youth police training.
We do.
Yeah, I wondered if you wouldn't mind then, Ms. Edwards, sharing any procedures that you're doing with the city of Livermore Explorer program, and so that the other cities may be able to maybe not go to the site, but have a bus that's out and about and we can do some training on it at our police stations.
Oh, yeah, they would be welcome to do that. We can reach out to them. Dublin and Pleasanton have never reached out to us about that in the past, although Pleasanton's dispatchers, police dispatchers did come out here to see our dispatching system because at the time ours was newer. I'm sure it's not anymore. That was about 18 years ago. But yeah, we've never been contacted by their group, so we can reach out to them and see if they would like us to go to their facility.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, so thank you. Reach out to them, but CC those of us that are on the board. So Councilmember Nairman, myself, and of course for Dublin would be Councilmember Josie and Mayor Hernandez. And that way we can track it as well. You have such great memory. Well, 18 years ago,
yeah,
the dispatchers came over. So yeah, let's
we were excited. It was an honor that somebody wanted to see our system. So
I like it. I like it. I like it, and would love to support it. Okay, now under matters initiated, do we have any items for our board of directors? All right, seeing none, I see two things in conflict. One is we have a meeting date of July 11th, and then on the back, it said that we don't normally have a meeting in July. What is your plan?
we don't normally have committee meetings in July,
Okay,
but we have a board meeting, and then we don't normally have a committee meeting in August. However, because of the resolution that has to be passed for virtual meetings, we're going to have a special meeting, possibly 2 during that time period. So we're trying to work that out. They would hopefully just be quick 5-minute meetings. But yeah, it kind of messed up our plan to not have anything in July and the beginning of August.
well, in July, we'll select those new officers for committees. And then if we have a short meeting, we can maybe do both, as well as our 361. How about that?
That'll work.
Okay, all right. With that, I don't see anybody's hands raised. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This meeting is adjourned. Have a great summer.
Thank you.